Hello and welcome to this new section on using right tools and technologies and the first lecture of that in this course on data analysis and data analytics. So in this section, we will help you learn in depth how to use and what tools and technologies to use and how to use them. And we will begin by taking a look at the various tools for data collection and storage like SQL, NoSQL, etc., etc. So, you know, we are now in the middle of looking at how to use the right tools and technologies, and we first will look at data collection and storage tools. And in that, we will look at things like SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, Cassandra, data lakes, Hadoop, etc., etc. So, how do you think you can go about doing the data collection and storage? What are the tools and technologies for that? Any thoughts? See, first thing let's understand is the basics of data collection and storage. Now, the effective data collection and storage ensures that businesses can access, analyze, and derive insights from data efficiently, right? And what are the tools that can help you do that? What are the right tools and technologies? We will take a look at in this lecture, but the right tools and technologies will help in capturing the accurate data, right? Then storing the data securely for easy access and analysis and ensuring scalability as data volume grows. To give you an example, a retail company collects customer purchase data and stores it in a data cloud, cloud data warehouse for real-time sales analysis, right? So that's how the basics of data collection and storage are. Second thing we need to do is to choose the right data collection methods. Now, what are the various types of data collection? Let us take a look at them. So there is manual entry, obviously, where you have the data entered by users, analysts, and operators. And examples of that are Google Forms, Microsoft Excel. Then there is automated data capture, where your data is collected through sensors, IoT, and scripts. And the tools are, in this case, are Zapier, Python, Beautiful Soup, and Scrapping. Then you can collect data through web scraping and API, where you collect structured and unstructured data from web sources. And there the tools are like REST API, Postman, Scraping. Then you have log and event data, where you capture logs from systems, apps, and devices with tools like Splunk, Datalog, AWS, CloudWatch, etc. Then you can gather data from customers and employees using surveys and feedback forms, using Typeform, SurveyMonkey, Google Form, and also capture engagement and website behavior data from social media and web analytics using Google Analytics, Facebook, Pixel, and Hotjar. And lastly, you can extract, transform, and load data from multiple sources using ETL pipelines, using Talent, Apache, Diffie, and AWS. The third step would be to select the right data storage technologies. What are some of the types of this data storage technologies? Let us take a look at them. So there is, relational databases, which are primarily SQL, where you have structured data stored in tables with relationship. And the tools are like, as you would guess, are MySQL, PostgreSQL, Microsoft SQL Server. Then there are NoSQL databases, right? Which are flexible, schema-free storage for unstructured data. Tools are like MongoDB, Cassandra, Firebase. Then you have centralized repository for analytics and reporting, in which you have storage. You can store in data warehouses like Amazon Redshift, Snowflake, Google BigQuery. Then you have large scale storage of raw, structured, and unstructured data in data lakes using tools like AWS S3, Azure Data Lake, Google Cloud Storage. And then you can use cloud storage for scalable storage for files, backups, and media using AWS S3, Google Drive, OneDrive, and Dropbox. And finally, you have You can store real-time sensor data closer to devices using edge and IoT storage through devices like AWS IoT, Azure IoT, Edge, etc. Let's take a look at an example. Uh, how would a finance company store transaction data? So a finance company would store transaction data in PostgreSQL for daily operations and send copies to Google BigQuery for analytics. So that's how the selection of right data storage technologies can happen. Then let's look at the fourth step would be to implement data collection and storage best practices. What are the key best practices? You know, the first one is automatic data collection, in which you use APIs, ETL pipelines in IoT sensors to automatically collect data. Then you need to ensure data accuracy by using validation rules and error checking mechanism. Then store data securely, where you need to encrypt data and use role-based access control (RBAC). Then you use cloud-based databases and storage solution to optimize for scalability. And finally, you should be able to enable data accessibility by ensuring structured indexing and metadata tagging. A logistic company, for example, would integrate IoT tracking devices on trucks and will store GPS data in AWS IoT core for real-time fleet monitoring. The step 5 would be to integrate and process data for analysis. You would need to use data integration and ETL tools for that. And what are such ETL tools? One would be Apache Kafka that you can use for streaming real-time data. Then there is Apache Nifi for automating ETL workflows. Then there is Talent for data integration across platforms. Then AWS Glue for where you can do cloud ETL service for data lakes. And finally, Google Dataflow for real-time data processing. How would this integration and processing happen in a healthcare provider? So a healthcare provider would use AWS Glue to attract patient records, transform them into structured formats, and load them into Snowflake for analysis. So that's how the integration and processing of data for analysis would happen. Lastly, you need to look at securing and governing data storage. Now, what are the measures that you can do for data security? One is data encryption, where that protects data in transit and at rest. Second, you can do is through access controls using role-based permission (RBAC). Then you need to do the backup and recovery, where you have automated failovers and versioning. And finally, in terms of governance on data, you need to meet the compliance requirements where you need to follow GDPR, HIPAA and CCPA regulations. Say, for example, a bank would store customer data in Azure SQL and database and enabling data masking and encryption for security compliance. So let's summarize what we have learned in this lecture. So the steps to use data collection for storage and collection and storage tools, what are they? First, you need to choose the right collection method. Whether it is API, ETL, web scraping, or IoT. You need to choose the right collection method. Then you select the best storage type, SQL, NoSQL, data warehouse, cloud, etc., etc. Then you automate data pipeline using Talent, AWS Glue, Kafka. You need to ensure data security through encryption, role-based access, compliance, and finally optimize for scalability using cloud-based solutions like AWS, GCP, Azure, etc. So what do we do in the next lecture? So having looked at what are the right tools and technologies and how to use them for data collection and storage, we will now look at the next step of data processing and analysis and see what are the right tools and technologies. So thank you so much for watching this first lecture on using the right tools and technologies. I hope you continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need to.